The little girl's voice cut through the quiet like a cracked bell. "Ma'am, I can't find my daddy." The female CO froze mid-step, her phone still pressed to her ear. One moment she had been finalizing a merger beside the lakeside retreat. The next, she was staring into the wide, frightened eyes of a child clutching a worn teddy bear. Before she could ask anything, the girl turned and ran, straight toward the dark line of woods. Instinct took over. The CO dropped her phone and ran after her, heels sinking into damp leaves. "Wait!" she called, her breath sharp, heart pounding in a way no boardroom ever caused. Inside the woods, the air was colder. The girl stopped near a fallen log, trembling. "Daddy said to stay here," she whispered. "But he didn't come back." The CO knelt, softening her voice. "What's your name?" "Lily." They waited. Minutes stretched. The CO wrapped her coat around Lily's shoulders, ignoring the chill. She listened, to Lily's small stories, to her own thoughts quieting for the first time in years. Then came a distant shout. A man burst through the trees, eyes wild with fear, until he saw Lily. He dropped to his knees, pulling her close, tears streaming. He explained he'd gone for help when Lily's mother collapsed nearby, deeper in the woods. Without hesitation, the CO guided them back, calling emergency services, staying until help arrived. As sirens faded, Lily hugged her tight. "You didn't leave me," she said. Later that evening, the CO canceled her meetings. For once, something mattered more. Kindness, she realized, isn't a detour from success. Sometimes, it's the path that finally leads you home. The ambulance lights disappeared down the narrow road, leaving the forest strangely quiet again. Lily's father kept thanking the CO, his voice breaking each time. She nodded politely, but something inside her felt unsettled, like a door had opened that refused to close. She returned to the lodge late that night, her expensive suit streaked with mud. For the first time in years, she didn't bother changing. Sleep wouldn't come. Lily's small hands clutching her coat replayed in her mind, along with those 4 words, "You didn't leave me." The next morning, curiosity, or maybe guilt, drew her to the local hospital. She told herself it was just to check on the mother. Nothing more. Lily's mom was stable but weak. Lily sat beside the bed, coloring quietly. When she saw the CO, her face lit up like sunrise. "You came back," she said. The words hit harder than expected. Lily's father explained their story. Seasonal work, no family nearby, constant moving. "People usually look away," he admitted. "You didn't." That afternoon, the CO missed another meeting. Then another. Instead, she helped Lily finish her drawing and brought food for the family. It felt unfamiliar, and right. But the real twist came when a nurse pulled her aside. "You should know," she said gently. "This family was denied assistance yesterday. Paperwork issues." The CO felt something shift, anger mixed with clarity. All her power, all her influence, and this family had still been invisible. That night, she made a call, not to investors, but to her foundation's director. "For once," she said quietly, "I want our help to be immediate." As she hung up, Lily hugged her again. And this time, the CO realized, she wasn't just rescuing a family. They were rescuing something human inside her too. The CO thought she would return to her city life after that week. That was the plan. But plans became fragile things once Lily entered her world. Every evening after work calls, she stopped by the small hospital room. Lily began waiting for her, shoes swinging off the bed, eyes searching the hallway. One night, while her parents slept, Lily whispered, "Do you have kids?" The question landed softly, and painfully. "No," the CO answered after a pause. Lily nodded like she understood more than she should. "Then you must get lonely too." No one had ever said that to her. Board members saw strength. Media saw success. But loneliness? Only a child noticed it so easily. A few days later, Lily's mother was discharged, but they had nowhere stable to go. The relief housing list was long. Winter was close. The CO offered a hotel for a week. then another. Then helped Lily's father find temporary work. Still, doubt followed her. Was she helping, or interfering? The answer came one afternoon when Lily handed her a folded paper. Inside was a crayon drawing, 3 stick figures holding hands. Above them, Lily had written, "You ran after me." That night, the CO stared at the drawing for a long time. She realized something unsettling and beautiful. She had spent years building companies, but had never run for a person. The next morning, she called her assistant and cancelled her return flight. "I need more time," she said. "Something important is happening." For the first time, work could wait. Later that day, Lily smiled and asked, "Are you leaving?" The CO knelt and met her eyes. "Not today," she said softly. And somehow, that simple answer felt like the beginning of everything. The town began to whisper. People noticed the powerful woman who now walked hand in hand with a little girl through grocery aisles and hospital hallways. Some assumed it was charity. Others thought it was publicity. None of them saw the quiet moments. The bedtime stories read on borrowed couches, the way Lily's mother smiled with relief for the first time in months, or how the CO learned to slow her steps to match a child's pace. Then the call came. Her board demanded her return. A critical vote. A once-in-a-lifetime expansion. "This company needs you," they said. That night she packed her bag and placed it by the door. Lily watched silently. Finally she asked, "Did I do something wrong?" The question shattered her. She knelt, pulling Lily close. "No. Never. But everyone leaves," Lily whispered. Those words echoed in the CO's chest like a verdict. She had spent years telling others to be strong, independent, prepared for loss. But here was a child who didn't need a lecture, she needed someone to stay. The next morning, the CO walked into the board meeting, on a video call. "I'm stepping back," she said calmly. "Not forever. But long enough to do something that matters." Stunned silence followed. Later that day, she signed papers for a small house near the woods. Temporary, she told herself. But her heart knew better. When Lily saw the house, she ran through the empty rooms laughing. "Is this where we don't get lost anymore?" she asked. The CO felt tears rise. "Yes," she said. "This is where we find each other." That night, as Lily fell asleep on the couch, the CO realized success had never asked her for sacrifice before. Love did. And for the first time, she chose it. Spring arrived quietly. The woods that once felt frightening now filled with light, and Lily loved walking their edge, always holding the CO's hand. The house was still modest, the future still uncertain, but something steady had taken root. Lily's mother regained her strength. Her father's job became permanent. Life did not turn perfect, but it became safe. One afternoon, Lily asked a question that made time slow. "Do you think someone can choose to be family?" The CEO didn't answer right away. She remembered the moment she'd run into the woods without thinking, without calculation. She realized the choice had already been made back then. "Yes," she said gently. "I think family is something you run toward." Weeks later, at a small courthouse, there were no cameras. No speeches. Just a little girl in a yellow dress, squeezing a familiar hand. When the judge smiled and nodded, Lily's eyes filled with tears, not fear this time, but belonging. Outside, Lily looked up and said, "I found my daddy, but I found you too." The CO knelt and hugged her tightly. She understood now that success hadn't failed her, it simply hadn't finished its lesson. Years later, when asked in an interview about the moment that changed her life, the CEO didn't mention profits or power. She said, "A child once told me she couldn't find her daddy. I ran after her. And somehow, in the woods, we both found what we were missing." Kindness doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. And if you're brave enough to follow it, it can lead you home.